they can be.
Liberal Democrat frontbench spokesman Luke Taylor.
Thank you, Mr Deputy Speaker. This report is an utterly damning assessment of our national resilience, this time through decay, but also a lack of readiness as the climate crisis changes the dynamics. Old equipment operating at higher temperatures, just as the loads for climate control and air conditioning are at its peak. The British people will be rightly alarmed that the problem which caused this substation failure was known as long ago as 2018. But there's a much wider point here, Mr Deputy Speaker, beyond just the technicalities of this failure. The resilience of critical national infrastructure has been neglected for far too long. I came to this place as an engineer for precisely this sort of reason. We're too short-termist and too narrow in our vision. We can't possibly expect to remain a world leader in infrastructure if we cannot future-proof and seriously invest in the resilience of our assets. It might not get pulses racing to build and maintain infrastructure. There is no ribbon to cut when something just continues to operate efficiently. But the long-termism associated with it as an ideology we should all get behind if we're serious about Britain's future. The report outlines that there were so many missed opportunities to fix the issues at this substation. And we will all have to look seriously into Ofgem's consequential investigation into the national grid once it is published. But it's not just about grid resilience. This time it was a fire caused by a fault, but next time it might be a deliberate cyber attack or an act of terrorism, which could have a more disastrous impact. We must look beyond the short term with a strategic and long-term plan to join up national infrastructure and make it safe and reliable for all. The government must bring about a strategy and act quickly to review the resilience of all similar assets, including every UK airport, which are all so critical to our national economy and our society. So with that in mind, I'd ask the Minister to confirm whether or not an assessment has been made of the likelihood of a repeat of this incident, both at Heathrow and at all other pieces of critical national infrastructure, and whether or not the government is taking this opportunity to finally pick up the National Infrastructure Commission reports from 2020 and 2023, which was ignored by the previous government, and 2024, which were not implemented quickly enough, to implement standards and frameworks for resilience for key sectors such as aviation, telecoms, water and energy, which will future-proof our ageing infrastructure to make it reliable and safe.
Well, I thank the honourable gentleman for his questions, and I think he's absolutely right to broaden this not just to the electricity system and not just to North Hyde, but wider questions around critical national infrastructure. I think he's absolutely right on that point. I would also just say he's right around investing in the future. I mean, I always think grid and networks set the heart racing a little faster, but that's just me. It is important, yes. And I think investing in it is what this government's doing, and just this week Ofgem announced record investment in that, and I hope all sides of the House, given the importance of this statement, will recognise the importance of that investment. Just on some of the points around wider resilience, I think the work that the Cabinet Office is doing leading on this is trying to bring together what I think it's fair to say has been too much of a fragmented landscape in resilience across government. It's right that lead government departments, my department is responsible for a number of key risks in the National Risk Register. Lead departments have expertise in certain areas, but if that information isn't shared coherently across government, we do increase the chance of not getting the answers right. So there's a lot of work being done on that. We're also looking at how we share data across all sectors of critical national infrastructure within government. We'll say more about that in the Resilience Action Plan, which the Cabinet Office is working on at the moment. And of course, the 10-year infrastructure strategy is also about how we will invest for the long term in the infrastructure that keeps our country running.